Perfect. We're live. I'm excited. Welcome to the Valuable Mind podcast. My name is Brandon Pony, where real world business owners are sharing their insights, their knowledge that are actively in the trenches right now in the staffing and recruiting space. We're super excited to have our guest on today. Very excited to see your story, your background, and obviously what you're doing right now in your business. So Maria Fernanda Molina is a active business owner right now, over 3 years. But your background, I'm just going to say lightly, over 10 years, actually even over more than that in psychology. She's also bilingual. Huge value of and knowing the value of prioritizing relationships in her business. And she's been on both sides of this, of being an employee and being a business owner. So, Maria, very excited to have you.
Well, thank you so much, Brandon. And I'm very happy and excited to be here. Thanks a lot for the invite and excited to talk a little bit more about HR trends and stuff.
Love it. I love it. So it's a very interesting transition. So being a psychologist, having that background and that history, you know people, you know the mind of people. How did this transition kind of have it? Just give us your background. I don't want to say too much. I want you to, share us your background.
Yeah, of course. Well, thank you. Well, I've been always passionate towards the like human behavior and how the mind works. So I decided to study up like a degree in psychology to understand better like my mind and my behavior trends and learning and everything. And then I ended up specializing in human resources. So since I started 12 years ago, I focused in recruiting, talent acquisition. And well, first of all, first I was a headhunter. So I was also in touch with CEOs and like owners of companies to help them grow their teams. And eventually I transitioned onto talent teams within corporate. I worked for like multinational and like very big enterprise like American Express and Willis Towers Watson. And then I decided to transition into fintech and like small startups, like early stage startups. That was a very interesting switch. It helped me to like gain a lot of like visibility and understand better how the businesses grow. And yeah, so after a massive layoff where I was working at Stripe, by the way, I loved working at Stripe. At Stripe, it was amazing. I gained a lot of visibility and experience in like several topics of related to HR and best practices too. I decided to use all my like knowledge and the experience and put it at the service of smaller companies, SMBs, startups with no talent teams to help them understand how to better attract and retain their talent, what the recruiting best strategies were, and how to build a coherent work business plan, yes, to grow the team. So I've been focusing in recruiting mainly, also understanding how to build career paths and how to be better leaders within the companies, how to help teams and individuals to manage better their emotions. I think emotional intelligence is a very important piece within companies, how to manage conflicts, how to deal with ambiguity and all sorts of situations that we are going through right now. And yeah, that's where we are now. And the most recent service that we're offering at Antares is coaching. So I'm giving coaching 101 to like clients or like users and also to founders and CEO who wants to understand how to keep growing and where to go with their companies. So that's something very exciting as well.
Love it. Absolutely. Yes. And so because of your background in psychology and, knowing how to build relationships with people, what was it that, what was the reason that you started or what kind of made you want to get into being your own business owner, like in this space?
That's a great question. Well, because to me it's very important. Service is very important. And like while I can provide my knowledge and know-how to a single company, to to me it has a higher purpose to help as much companies and people as possible, and learn the way back from them. So I think service again is very rewarding to me, and having my own company allowed me to do that, and to reach more people, more companies, and like keep spreading like this mission of my own.
Love it. Love it. And you can do it in multinational scale,
Yeah. Yeah.
multicultural.
I'm also someone who, yeah, I value remote work a lot.
Mhm.
I think remote has broader the barriers and the frontiers. Now you can hire folks from pretty much everywhere, which is great. You are not tied to a specific location or place, and I think that's amazing because talent is everywhere, and you don't need to be like I know there's a lot of people who value in real life like meetings, and like I do also, don't get me wrong, but I think having the flexibility to like travel around the world and like visit any place, that's also part of like curiosity, and help like transform our mindset. Like being in the same place all the time at some point can be very like tiring mentally speaking. So I think like remote work is one of the best things that COVID brought us.
Definitely. And what's great is, and your business is remote because of the coaching platform and
Exactly. My business is fully remote, and yeah, we work pretty much from like every country in the world, and I've hired folks in several cities, several countries as well, not only in Latin America, but the US, Canada, Europe as well. So yeah, again, I think there are no frontiers, no barriers. Good talent is everywhere. So yeah, why stick to a single place?
right. I'm curious to know, just from your perspective, if you could share a little bit, how do you know like when you're talking to good talent, or how are you approaching that with your background, so extensively in psychology, way past just like what's on the surface, you know?
Yes, I've learned that soft skills are very important, more than the experience in itself, the way people expose themselves, the degree of awareness they have, their humility, their capacity to recognize their mistakes, and like not like being humble, work like in a collaborative environment. Those skills to me are very important and talk a lot about the leadership of someone. So based on their words and the way they express themselves, I can tell whether someone is very senior or not. I think people with this clear mindset, with the capacity to explain or to turn very complex terms into very digestible and simple ones are amazing, because at corporate you work a lot cross-functionally. So having the ability to like speak to people in their own language makes a huge difference.
Oh, for
So
sure.
I'll say that to me is the most important as a recruiter.
The connections there. I get that.
Yes.
Very cool. And you've seen quite a bit being in different environments, different companies, and in slightly different roles, but all relatively similar. What are some of the trends that you've seen or that you're currently seeing?
That's very interesting. Well, it depends on the industry. I'll talk about tech because it's the industry where I've been specializing more the latest years. Um, it can be tricky because good talent, like very strong talent, can be somehow scarce, but that is only because companies sometimes are reaching or are looking for a very specific and narrowed profile. So like you'll find three or four candidates. I think people is after COVID, people is more afraid to take risks because of all the massive layoffs that we've seen through
Mhm.
2022 and 2023 and even now. So I think people was like very open to considering like transitioning onto a new role or another company, and now they're more like on the fence. So you need to be like very clear in terms of what you like, what the company will offer them, not only in terms of like salary, but also like career path and other types of learning and professional growth, personal and professional growth. And people values more than ever flexibility because they've realized how important it is spending time with family, spending time doing exercise or hobbies. I think before the pandemic, we were used to spend more than 10 hours at the office, which now sounds insane. And after the pandemic, people realized that mental health and having like good quality of life is very important. So I'll say those are like the most important things.
Mhm.
I don't know
Agreed.
if I have answered your question.
Definitely, definitely have, and gave some great insight too on that. It's true. COVID really messed up. It was a big shift in like every industry and an adjustment and a mental shift of focusing on what's really important and like the safety because so many people were affected and families. So the perspective was big, exactly right. Yeah, I'm with you, at least from what I've seen as well. So and you've had such we can see you've had such a fun career, and we kind of speak about it really quickly and really briefly, of course, for the audience. But what you with Antares HR right now, obviously it didn't come without ups and downs, and that's how it is with every business. So through these like trends, what are some of the challenges that you guys are focusing on right now as a business?
One of the main challenges since I started Antares is like competing against bigger like headhunting headhunting companies or like recruiting agencies. That's one, because at the end of the day, a brand, like a well-known brand, gives you the certainty that the job will be done, or like you already know, whereas a boutique like us can like generate more I don't know, like people can be on the fence on whether they will get the service that they expected. So one thing that we've been doing is like leveraging on referrals and using the experience that clients have had to spread the word. But it's something like build on relationships. So I think that that's one of the biggest challenges we found. The other thing is that well, companies are, because all the economic like situation and how complex financial like things are financially speaking. Sometimes they wanna hire someone, but they realize they don't have enough budget, so they ended up like putting on hold, and you lose strong candidates. So like that back and forth makes also things very complicated and challenging.
Mhm.
And last of all, candidates who are like just seeing what they can open to listen new opportunities, but they're not fully engaged. Of course, you can tell as an expert from early on, but if I don't know, the like hiring manager is deeply interested in that specific profile, and the person like and ended up not being interested in changing, they then making the shift onto considering other type of profiles can be very tricky as well. So yeah, I think it's most of like the regular issues. And my suggestion will be, again, building very strong relationships with your client and your candidates, like at the point of knowing them as good as possible. And you'll say, well, Maria, that's very hard when you have a huge pipeline and a huge like a lot of clients. I think it's better quality over quantity. I mean, it's much better to offer 110% service to a one single client than having 10 and not being able like compromise on their service or compromise on the type of quality of candidates that you deliver. So my suggestion would be, again, building strong relationship and making sure that you fully understand what the client expects, being very empathetic with them. They're also coping with a lot of stuff. And and provide market insights that put you on a trusted advisor in what you're doing because that's the reality.
Love that. Love that. And it's obvious, and you know that so well. You know that so well actively. I think one of the things that sticks out very well with your business is that you being a psychologist, that's a very unique trait in for a business owner in the industry because that's not very common. And also, offering coaching is not very common in the industry. It's a placement. It's usually a quicker or a shorter relationship. And I could see how the referrals and I could see how just, this your Antares HR is working so well. And just the connection is definitely there. We just need, obviously a more you know, I think more people to see what you're offering is just it.
Yeah, exactly. Building to me, building connections since early on in my career is very important. I'm still friend or I'm still in touch with candidates that I placed 10 years ago. So I think that's very valuable. I mean, it's a small world. You need to leave a positive footprint with whomever you meet and
Mhm.
wherever you go. So to me, that's very important. And we're built about connections. I mean, even with remote work and everything, the most important is how you connect and how do you relate with each other. So this business is very human. I mean, you can see it as transactions or sales, but ultimately you are working with people. And to work with people, you need to be very empathetic and work with a lot of heart because people is trusting you. No matter if there are founders or there are candidates looking for a new job, they're trusting you in the sense that you will help them to have a better opportunity. So I think we need to be at the level of covering their requirements and being very understandable with them.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I love it. Maria, you've given us some really good value from relationship building, of course, having a relationship network, building trust and understanding and handling it with care because this is transitions can be very tough. It can be exciting, but also can be tough. It's people's livelihoods we're talking about. So tell us, how can we connect with you? How can we get in touch with you and Antares?
Well, thank you so much. So my LinkedIn is Maria Fernanda Molina, my full name. Then my email is it's Mafer, my short nickname at antareshr.com. And the website is www.antareshr.com. I also have an Instagram page. It's the handle is Antares HR. In case people want to reach us out, I think it's better if we can maybe add the information.
We'll have it linked down in the description.
Exactly.
Awesome. Awesome. Very cool. Maria, thanks so much again for joining us. This is the Valuable Mind podcast. If you got value out of this, as I hope everyone did, for sure, I know I did, please consider subscribing. Maria, thanks again.
Thank you so much, Brandon, and thank you everyone for listening.